There are people in this world who drain our strength, who cloud our judgment, who stir the waters of our mind into chaos. If we are to live as true practitioners of Stoicism, as seekers of wisdom and harmony, we must now trust or respect these 9 types of individuals. They are not our enemies, nor are they to be hated, but they are obstacles on our path to virtue and peace. Let us unveil them, so we may guard ourselves with clarity and reason. 1. The flatterer. Beware the one who sings sweet songs to your ego. This person, clothed in praise, seeks not your growth, but your indulgence. Seneca warns, a flatterer is a friend who is only loyal in your presence. Such individuals weaken our resolve by feeding our pride, and pride is a poor substitute for true self-worth. The flatterer often disguises their intent under the guise of friendship or loyalty. They might say things like, "You're perfect just the way you are," or "Nobody could do this better than you." While these words might bring temporary satisfaction, they lead us away from self-improvement. Imagine a craftsman who stops refining his skills because his peers constantly tell him he's already the best. Over time, his work stagnates and his reputation fades. True growth arises from recognizing our shortcomings, not ignoring them. Let us seek companions who challenge us with honesty rather than seduce us with empty praise. The flatterer's influence extends beyond personal growth. Entire organizations have crumbled because leaders surrounded themselves with sycophants who only echoed their ideas. History offers countless examples of rulers whose overconfidence, bolstered by flattery, led to disastrous decisions. A leader who listens only to praise is deaf to the warnings of wisdom. Consider the Roman Emperor Nero, whose court was filled with flatterers. Their words blinded him to his faults, leading to decisions that caused his downfall. Nero's inability to discern sincerity from sycophancy serves as a cautionary tale for all. Flatterers also prey on our natural desire for affirmation, often twisting it to their advantage. A colleague who constantly praises your decisions might be hiding an agenda, seeking to influence you in subtle ways. The key is vigilance. Ask yourself, are they encouraging my growth, or are they manipulating my ego? Beyond individuals, consider how flattery manifests in modern social media. The pursuit of likes and validation from strangers mirrors the actions of flatterers in our personal lives. A Stoic must recognize this trap, focusing instead on inner virtue and purpose rather than external approval. Reflect on how this culture of validation distracts us from meaningful achievements. The quest for likes can diminish our capacity for true self-awareness and growth. 2. The gossip. Those who revel in the faults and misfortunes of others erode their own character and seek to draw us into their mire. Epictetus counseled, "When you hear of someone speaking ill of another, do not join them in their wrongdoing." Gossip is insidious. It starts as a harmless story shared in confidence, but soon grows into a habit of judgment and negativity. Picture a workplace where gossip runs rampant. Trust erodes, collaboration falters, and individuals feel isolated. By abstaining from gossip, we preserve our integrity and set an example for others. Instead of discussing others' flaws, let us turn inward and examine our own, for that is the true Stoic path. Consider the story of Socrates, who employed the triple filter test when someone brought him gossip. Is it true? Is it good? Is it useful? By refusing to entertain harmful chatter, he safeguarded his peace and set a higher standard for those around him. Let us do the same, ensuring that our words build rather than destroy. Gossip can destroy reputations and relationships in an instant. Imagine a close friend sharing a personal struggle, only to find that their confidence has been betrayed. Such breaches of trust leave lasting scars. As practitioners of Stoicism, our role is to be trustworthy and refrain from such harmful behavior. Social media amplifies the dangers of gossip, where public shaming and online criticism often escalate beyond control. A single negative comment can go viral, impacting lives irreversibly. The Stoic response is to refrain from participating in this cycle, focusing instead on constructive dialogue and understanding. We must remember that words carry weight and have the potential to either uplift or tear down. Choosing to abstain from gossip is a daily exercise in virtue. 3. The complainer. There are those who see only the rain and never the sky beyond it. Their constant lamentations sap the spirit and tempt us toward ingratitude. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The complainer does not seek solutions, only validation for their misery. They live in a perpetual state of victimhood, which is antithetical to the Stoic ideal of resilience. Consider the story of a farmer whose crops were destroyed by a storm. While one neighbor spent days lamenting the unfairness of nature, the farmer immediately began replanting. His actions inspired the community and led to a quicker recovery. Complaining achieves nothing. Action transforms obstacles into opportunities. The complainer's mindset is infectious. Spend enough time in their company, and their worldview seeps into your own. Instead, align yourself with those who find solutions, who see opportunity in adversity. A Stoic knows that every obstacle is a chance to practice virtue, courage, patience, and determination. Even in personal relationships, complainers can drain our energy. Imagine a friend who constantly laments their problems, but never seeks advice or takes action. Over time, their negativity becomes a weight on our shoulders. By gently redirecting the conversation toward solutions, we uphold our Stoic values and encourage growth. Beyond personal interactions, the culture of complaint can dominate workplaces and communities. Complaining without seeking change fosters stagnation. A Stoic's approach is proactive. We identify challenges, accept their presence, and work to transform them into stepping stones for improvement. Imagine an organization paralyzed by complaints about its inefficiencies, but with no collective effort to improve processes. The company's progress stalls and morale declines. A Stoic recognizes that voicing grievances without actionable intentions is fruitless. Instead, they champion constructive dialogue and problem-solving as the means to bring about meaningful change. 4. The boaster. There is no virtue in one who parades their achievements for the sake of admiration. This person is a slave to external validation, a hollow vessel seeking to be filled by others. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The boaster's focus on appearances distracts us from the substance of true character. Imagine a colleague who constantly reminds everyone of their past successes but contributes little to current efforts. Over time, their reputation diminishes because actions speak louder than words. The truly virtuous do not need to announce their deeds. Their character speaks for itself. Boasting not only diminishes the boaster, but can breed envy and resentment in others. Instead of announcing our victories, let us inspire through quiet excellence. Actions have a gravity that words cannot match. True greatness does not need an audience. It flourishes in silence. Excessive boasting also reveals insecurity. Consider the story of a young athlete who won a local championship. Instead of focusing on training for the next competition, he spends months bragging about his victory. His lack of preparation ultimately leads to failure. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize substance over image, focusing on continuous improvement rather than fleeting recognition. In a modern context, social media has amplified the culture of boasting. Posts that showcase material wealth or achievements often lack depth and authenticity. A Stoic's approach is to focus inward, finding fulfillment in the process of growth rather than its outward display. Boasting online, though often celebrated, undermines genuine connections and cultivates superficiality. Let us reject this and strive for depth and authenticity in all we do. 5. The cynic. The cynic sees no hope, no goodness, no possibility for improvement. This individual, under the guise of realism, sows doubt and despair. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught us to face the world with courage and to trust in the order of nature. The cynic would have us believe that striving for virtue is futile. We must reject this poison and remain steadfast in our belief that a better life is possible through reason and effort. Think of a friend who dismisses every idea as impractical or doomed to fail. Their negativity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as their lack of effort ensures failure. By contrast, the optimist who takes calculated risks often achieves success, proving that belief in possibility is the first step toward realizing it. Cynicism is a defense mechanism, often born of disappointment or fear. But it is a poor shield, for it blocks not only pain, but also joy and growth. A Stoic does not shy away from challenges. We face them with reason and resolve, transforming even setbacks into opportunities for improvement. The cynic's worldview can also influence others, spreading negativity like a contagion. Imagine a teacher who constantly criticizes their students without offering constructive feedback. Over time, the students lose confidence and stop striving for excellence. As Stoics, our duty is to inspire hope and resilience, demonstrating through our actions that progress is always possible. Hope, grounded in rationality, becomes the antidote to the cynic's despair. 6. The manipulator. The manipulator seeks to bend others to their will, exploiting emotions and vulnerabilities to achieve their goals. They operate in shadows, often presenting themselves as allies, while hiding ulterior motives. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Never value anything as profitable to yourself, which shall compel you to break your promise, to lose your self-respect, or to hate any man." Manipulators compel us toward such outcomes by leveraging deceit and coercion. Consider a colleague who spreads misinformation to advance their position, dividing teams to create dependence on their authority. Their tactics breed distrust, weakening both individual resolve and collective purpose. The Stoic response is to act with transparency and maintain integrity, refusing to be complicit in schemes that compromise ethical principles. Manipulators thrive in environments where truth is undervalued. In personal relationships, they might guilt others into compliance, using emotional appeals to obscure their true intentions. Recognizing these patterns is the first defense. A Stoic guards their autonomy by setting clear boundaries and remaining rooted in rational judgment. In the digital age, manipulative tactics have found fertile ground in algorithms and targeted misinformation. Whether it's fake news or persuasive advertising, the principles remain the same: to influence decisions without respecting the autonomy of the individual. A Stoic's commitment to clarity and truth serves as a bulwark against such forces. Engage with media critically, questioning motives and seeking verified facts. To counter manipulation, practice discernment and encourage open dialogue. Those who manipulate seek to control outcomes, but their success depends on the cooperation of others. By refusing to yield to coercion, we preserve not only our integrity, but also the sanctity of our relationships and communities. 7. The impulsive. Impulsive individuals act without forethought, driven by fleeting emotions rather than reason. Their decisions often lead to regret, chaos, and unnecessary harm. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The impulsive are enslaved by their desires, reacting instinctively rather than responding thoughtfully. Imagine a driver who, in a fit of road rage, endangers themselves and others. Their rash actions escalate minor incidents into significant dangers. Impulsivity blinds them to the broader consequences of their behavior. A Stoic strives for temperance, pausing to reflect before acting. Impulsivity is not limited to moments of anger. It manifests in hasty decisions, reckless spending, or unconsidered commitments. Reflect on the story of a young investor who, without research, gambles their savings on a hot tip. When the investment collapses, they face not only financial loss, but also a diminished sense of trust in their judgment. Stoicism teaches us to approach decisions with patience and clarity, weighing long-term outcomes over immediate gratification. Training oneself to resist impulsive behavior begins with mindfulness. Pause before speaking in anger. Delay significant decisions until emotions subside, and cultivate habits of introspection. The effort required to master impulses strengthens character and fosters a life of stability and harmony. The impulsive are often reactive, but a Stoic aspires to be proactive. By anticipating challenges and preparing thoughtful responses, we act with purpose rather than being swayed by external events. This discipline transforms potential chaos into opportunities for growth and demonstrates the power of self-mastery. 8. The envious. Envy corrodes the soul and seeks to diminish what is good in others. The envious person cannot celebrate the success or virtue of another without feeling diminished themselves. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to rejoice with those who rejoice. To envy is to deny ourselves joy, for envy turns every triumph into a source of bitterness. Imagine a talented artist who cannot bear to witness another's success. Instead of refining their craft, they spend their energy criticizing and resenting the achievements of others. Their envy blinds them to their own potential, trapping them in a cycle of frustration. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate gratitude for what we have and inspiration from others' accomplishments, rather than allowing jealousy to control our hearts. In modern life, envy is often fueled by social comparison, especially on platforms that showcase curated highlights of others' lives. Seeing someone else's successes, vacations, or material possessions can stir feelings of inadequacy. A Stoic response is to remember that these glimpses are often illusions, and even if they are not, another's fortune does not diminish our own. Our happiness lies within, not in the fleeting images of external goods. Envy is also a barrier to collaboration. In professional settings, an envious colleague may withhold valuable insights or actively undermine others. This creates a toxic environment, harming both individuals and collective goals. A Stoic's approach is to celebrate the contributions of others, recognizing that their success can also benefit the greater whole. By shifting focus from competition to cooperation, we transcend the pettiness of envy. Practicing gratitude and focusing on personal growth are antidotes to envy. Reflect on what you possess, both tangible and intangible. Consider the friendships, opportunities, and abilities that enrich your life. When envy creeps in, remind yourself that true wealth is not measured by comparison, but by the value we place on what we already have. 9. The destructive. Finally, There are those who delight in harm, to others, to themselves, or to the world. Their actions are driven by chaos, malice, or despair, and their presence disrupts harmony wherever they go. These individuals are the farthest from the Stoic ideal, for they sow discord and destruction rather than fostering peace and growth. Seneca warns, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." But the destructive person ensures that suffering becomes all too real. Consider someone who spreads rumors to ruin another's reputation, or who sabotages a team project out of spite. Their actions are not only harmful to others, but ultimately self-destructive, as they isolate themselves from meaningful relationships and opportunities. Stoicism urges us to distance ourselves from such individuals, not with hatred, but with firm resolve to protect our peace. Destructive behavior often stems from unresolved pain or a lack of purpose. While we cannot heal another's wounds, we can choose not to be complicit in their chaos. A destructive person thrives on reaction. By refusing to engage, we deny them the fuel they seek. Instead, we can embody the Stoic virtues of patience, composure, and integrity, setting an example of stability and strength. Destruction is not always overt. In some cases, it manifests as neglect or apathy, a refusal to contribute positively to one's environment. Imagine a leader who consistently avoids difficult decisions, allowing conflict and inefficiency to fester. Their inaction harms the very people they are meant to guide. A Stoic recognizes that responsibility and courage go hand in hand. To build and preserve is far more challenging and far more rewarding than to destroy. On a broader scale, the destructive individual can represent forces that threaten the collective good, such as corruption, greed, or environmental harm. While we may feel powerless against such forces, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control. By acting with integrity and advocating for justice, we contribute to the greater harmony of the world, countering destruction with creation. The Stoic path is not easy. It demands vigilance, reflection, and the courage to let go of what doesn't serve us. These 9 types of people are not villains in some grand tragedy, but they are lessons, warnings of what we must avoid becoming. We cannot control others, but we can control how we respond to them. Let us strive together to embody the principles of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. In doing so, we not only protect ourselves from harm, but become beacons of light in a world that often wanders in shadow. Let us walk this path with purpose, for our fortitude inspires others, and our self-mastery becomes a legacy. Overcoming destructive emotions is not merely a goal. It is the way to live a life of meaning and peace.